Okay, so perhaps getting a little ahead of ourselves here, but the Xbox Showcase concluded with a one more thing style presentation, which initially looked quite promising. CG intro for something. What was it? We just didn't know. I was looking at some of the live stream comments. It's like Titanfall 3, it's back, it's happening. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a almost needless introduction, CG based, for COD Block 7, Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Oliver, you called it, I think, in our pre-show chat, a bait and switch. Would you care to go into a bit more depth?
Well, this was teased by Phil as like the last big thing, the one more thing of the show, right? And they open with this CG trailer, this kind of nondescript CG trailer showing a robot, showing this guy. And I'm kind of thinking like, okay, well, this is like probably showing something really big, something ambitious, maybe a new IP, something like that. It's running at 24 FPS. It's clearly an offline render, so not indicative of like real game graphics, but looks interesting. And then I see the TV room and I hear Mason, and the jig is kind of up. And it's Call of Duty. It's Black Ops 7. You know, I kind of feel like every Call of Duty these days is a Modern Warfare or a Black Ops, or, you know, that's really all they're into these days from a franchise with like, how many entries? Like 22 entries. I mean, bidding more than 22
Well,
entries,
to be fair, Oliver, the
years.
surprise here is that it's Black Ops 7 1 year after Black Ops 6. They usually didn't, they wouldn't usually follow up a Black Ops with another Black Ops, right?
That's the surprise. That's the surprise.
That's the surprise.
But it's really Black Ops 3 in a sense, because I think it's a sequel to Black Ops 2, a direct sequel. Anyways, this is all getting in the weeds here. But they have some very brief snippets of like in-engine stuff towards the end of the trailer, but it's hidden by like a distortion effect. And it kind of looks like Call of Duty has looked for the past, 5 or 6 years, at least from what I can see, although it's very limited. And it comes out later, of course. This is coming out for PS4 and Xbox One, as well as the current generation systems.
Good lord, dude.
Yeah, 5 years, 12-year-old consoles that came out when I was like 18 years old. That's still...
There's got to be a strategic reason for it. There must be a lot of users that haven't transitioned across to the new generation of consoles, and opens the door, of course, to Switch 2 port, I think.
Yeah.
Which I think is a
But I think it's like, it just... Like, we already knew a Call of Duty game was coming. It's a CGI trailer. We're not going to show you any gameplay. We're going to ship it on consoles from 2013. And it's just kind of like, I'm sure it's good. It will be good in the same way that all recent Call of Duty games are good, but it's pretty unexciting at this point. And I kind of feel like, especially for one more thing, you should at least show me something that's interesting about the game. Like, try to pitch me something that's interesting about this Call of Duty game, or give me something that's worth clinging on to if I haven't liked previous games, instead of just showing me like this super generic footage of just random shots of Call of Duty explosions and trucks and mini guns and things like this. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just deeply uninspiring on a level that I feel is not befitting of like a final showcase game in what is still the biggest showcase probably in games, which is the Xbox show. So it's just
it wasn't particularly inspiring, is it? Because a Call of Duty game annually is a given. So it was kind of surprising that we didn't see anything more substantial. I mean, because it's going to be well along in development. There should have been a lot more to get excited about. It is true that sort of optimization and whatnot is pretty much done in the last few months of development. We've seen a number of E3 trailers for Call of Duty games that haven't been running optimally. But even so, surely, when it comes to Call of Duty, the pitch has got to be, why should you be interested? Because, each and every year a new one comes along, why should I be interested in this game? And you don't do that by providing a CG trailer and some sort of hints about what may or may not be happening in it, in the actual game. Maybe there'll be something happening for Gamescom, who knows? But it was just weird, wasn't it? Particularly when... it was a showcase that didn't have any of the Xbox tentpoles, their tentpole franchises being showcased really at all. So it was weird and odd and all manner of strangeness going on there. And a bit of a letdown, which isn't what you want to end your showcase with. John?
Is this not a tentpole, Rich? How do you define tentpole? This is the.
I'm talking about something that's traditionally big for.
I know. I agree with you. Right. This is This is still fundamentally an Activision game. They own it, but it doesn't feel like the traditional Xbox. So, I agree because, I don't know, man. It is weird. Like, Call of Duty is huge, but this kind of stuff, what they're doing with the story, while kind of interesting at first, I feel like that doesn't really resonate with the overall Call of Duty audience. You know, so. I also am a little bit confused by this. I'm not sure why they thought this was a good way to end the show, especially when sort of name dropping some other things that we'll talk about directly and then showing none of them.
Right.
It just, it's a very strange one. And I guess like we're at the point where like when you look at what they own now, from the third-party publishers that they purchased up. You got Bethesda, right? Bethesda has been a heavy hitter, but Bethesda is dry at the moment. They've released a lot of amazing stuff recently, and it's kind of like break time for Bethesda while they get back to doing, new stuff, right? So Activision, I'm at a loss for words here because it really is a puzzling way to end the show, at least the way they built it up and hyped it. And it's especially bummer when you look at just how cool like the CGI stuff they show in this trailer actually is. And you know that because it's Call of Duty, they're not really going to be able to act on it and do anything particularly new or different with it. And fundamentally, that's the bummer, right? It's probably not going to match this. It's going to be more Call of Duty, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just, it's not going to be surprising or unexpected in any way.
Yeah. And even just from a rendering perspective, like, is it even going to have, ray tracing this year? Are they going to do anything interesting with it? Like, they kind of dropped that, It's just like, I'd love to see them do something cool with it, that at least kind of, came within the ballpark of the ambition of, like, this trailer, just show me something interesting. But I kind of feel like we're not going to get that. I'd love to be proven wrong.
Man, I feel like ending the show with this is like ending a Sony show with, like, The Last of Us Part 1 remastered or something. Just
those are fighting words, John. No, I get your point.